the ocean. The SSS, I believe, is also worst. You need no less than 200 personnel per local government before you can be effective. Why the SSS is different and can do with a lesser number is because they have the security arrangements where you can cover the ground through even sources, agents, and contacts. Then also, concrete steps should be taken to address the challenges of security presence in ungoverned spaces across the country. This, without being told, is a major limitation of the capacity of the security agencies. There are hardly any states in this country where every area is effectively covered. In some places, they are able to use communication, satellite, and the rest to cover the issue. But today, you can go to Borno and be traveling for 5 hours in one local government. You will never see anybody. The same thing with Yobe, the same thing with Adamawa and Sokoto, Niger, and the rest. So these are necessary to curtail the current space of kidnapping, banditry, and insurgency. There should also be deliberate steps to modernize the security forces by equipping them with the latest crime-fighting equipment, assets, and particularly drones and surveillance capabilities. You are not equipping the sister agencies when you give them arms that were backloaded 30 years ago. You have seen the very embarrassing arms that some of these people, like I said, civil defense, and some of these people are carrying. Even the Fulani men have better arms than that. Some very long arms that you are not sure you will not even kill yourself if you fire that type of arm. So, in addition, we believe the political process should be much more transparent to allow for the emergence of credible representation and leaders, considering the relationship between good governance and security. The country should, in addition, strive to have in place a political system that gives everybody some sense of belonging, and there's fairness and justice. Corruption and mismanagement of public funds should also be decisively dealt with. We have seen how the states have been looted and local governments have been crippled in more than 70–80% of the states in the country. Like somebody said yesterday, we were discussing something. He was saying in his local government, he have not seen a single project added to what was there 10 years ago. That even the schools are not being rehabilitated, the clinics are not being taken care of, and people are just there. Somebody said in their own case is even better, that in his state, some of the local governments have been under lock and key. Nobody goes to work. They are just fluttering, So government needs to do something about this attitude. And if need be, bring to book some of the people who are involved in this. I was telling one of your bosses, the security chiefs, why can't you summon some of the governors, sit them down, confront them with these facts? If a governor goes killing about people, refusing to pay salary, doing nothing, you can do something about it as security agencies. This is the due way we have. And I know the SSS used to write reports that the government takes seriously. I think Madam Funke is here, although it nearly costed her, she burned her fingers in one of the states for doing her work. How the governors used to play prank with projects, carrying the president to go and commission projects while there is that are incompleted. I think in that case, they had this water system that some people came and loaded in the night for the president to commission it in the morning, but the SSS had a report on it. Some people were not happy. But let me tell you that people will never be happy with you as long as you are the system. So we believe steps should also be taken to ensure more effective border security in the country, as nearly all the security challenges are as a result of lapses at the borders. The issue of proliferation of dangerous weapons should also be accorded desired attention. So also are the activities of these lawless herdsmen. And then, of course, we need to do a self-searching of ourselves, the security agencies. I've told you how some of us are implicated also in even the kidnapping. They say some of us are colluding with them. So I believe the recruitment process and on-the-job screening and profiling need to be sustained. And then, of course, equally important is the fact that security services should be insulated from politics, because we have realized that there are a lot of damage done to some of the security forces because of imposed leadership and politicization. There are people here who told us of how during the elections, some of them were summoned and said they should go and put this report. But then, of course, so many of the security agencies stood their ground. There were many. You heard of that of the Commissioner of Police in Kano. There are also in SSS cases where they told some of the powers that be to their face that they were not going to alter any report. Now that's what it should be, So we believe security should be insulated from politics, and only persons with impeccable character and track records should be placed in position of leadership in the security agencies. There should also be improved level of cooperation between the country's national security system and those of the neighboring countries, because you find some of these challenges are common to the sub-region. That's the more reason why we need more cooperation. I believe the government is doing something about it, because last time the president had an outing, he had, during the summit, a meeting with the Chad Basin member states, and this issue was thrashed out. And lastly, we also believe the security agencies should be true custodians of the democratic process, especially good governance. Like what we have done in the SSS, we have not limited ourselves to arrest and detain. That is something of a past. We do now monitoring of governance. We monitor people and government projects and the rest. That's the way we can enhance governance in the country. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm of the conviction that the security law enforcement and our armed forces can do better if they are accorded. So, gentlemen, I rest my point on this note. Thank you very much.
For coming to represent the Prof, who you know very well is a friend of the service. We enjoyed his presentation, and you have anchored well as well. Because he's a friend of the service, we know that each time we call him, he will oblige us. Please give our regards to him as you hand this over. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much. I expect on behalf of Professor Ibrahim Gombari, and I will faithfully deliver as soon as it comes back. Thank you very much.
Permit me also, sir, to invite Mrs. Olufunke Amos, FSI, MNI, Director, National Assembly Liaison, to present a souvenir to our distinguished personality this afternoon, Mr. A.A. Gazama, OFR, MNI. Thank you, ma'am.
I stand on all existing protocol. Sir, we want to thank you very much. We thank you for this legacy you have left for us. We thank you so much for investing in us. I feel honored and privileged to be part of the National Institute from inception. Incidentally, I was a member of the committee that worked on the establishment of the ISS, and I also became, I was privileged to be a member of COS1. Thank you very much, sir, for your very interesting and educative lecture this afternoon. We didn't expect anything less from the spy master himself. Therefore, on behalf of the Director General State Services and the members of the National Institute for Security Studies, we present this to you as a token of our appreciation for always being there for us. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. The last presentation will be made by the President of the NISS Alumni, Mr. Mike Ejiofor, FSI, Retired Director, the SSS. Thank you. The presentation, please, is for the Emir. Thank you, sir. And Royal Father of the Day. No, they'll give you.
Your Royal Highness, it's my privilege. This is my first outing since the upgrading of the Institute to National Institute. And I want to also call on our upcoming fellows. As soon as they graduate, we want them to graduate, to witness it, to come here and make sure you are inducted into our alumni and ensure that we build together and security challenges in this country will come to end. Incidentally, the MA is my personal friend, and just not coincidence that I'm doing this. On behalf of the DGSS, the management and the staff of the Institute, I want to present this in appreciation of what you have told us. as our traditional ruler. Congratulations.
Thank you, sir. The NISS also appreciates our leader, our visionary leader, the DGSS, Yusuf Magaji Bichi, ably represented. And on that note, permit me to most respectfully invite Mr. Philip Gangas, MSI, Director Inspectorate, to present a souvenir for the DGSS.
Ma. The DG representative, on behalf of the entire officers and men of your service, I hand over this turkey to you as a sign of appreciation for creating a conducive atmosphere for this occasion. Thank you and remain blessed.
Thank you very much. On behalf of the DGSS, I received this gift and we appreciate the staff of National Institute for Security Studies. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ma. Before we finally draw the curtains, may I respectfully enjoin our distinguished personality and guest lecturer, Mr. A.A. Gadzama, OFR MNI, to kindly move to the cake stand for cutting of the 2019 NISS Distinguished Lecture Cake. He is to be assisted, sir? I have just been directed to invite the chairman, the royal father of the day, the commandant, and all the guests on the high table to join him. I also invite the Monitor General of the course, of the participants and his deputy to please come to the high table. This event is for you, so you need to be represented. Thank you. Thank you, sir, please. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, sir. Hallelujah. Thank you. The chairman, sir, our royal father,
distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, as we gradually approach the end of the program, permit me to humbly invite Dr. A.M. Wali, FSI, Director of Studies, to give the vote of thanks.
Thank you. Our transformational leader, the Director General State Services, Alhaji Yusuf Magaji Bichi, FWC, ably represented by the Director of Training, Mrs. Fola Shade Ajay Kajif, FSI, the guest lecturer, a former Director General of State Services, a quintessential intellectual, a fountainhead that molded most of us still around in the security sector, a spy catcher, spy master, a very eloquent and consummate administrator, Mr. A.A. Gazama, OFR, MNI. The chairman of this occasion, a diplomat, erudite scholar, Professor Ibrahim Agola Gambari, CON, our leader in the institute, Alhaji S.A. Adeleke, FSI MNI, the Mujia of Gwandu, the chairman for the occasion is represented by the one buying Katsina, who preferred to call himself a citizen of this country, Alhaji Sani Bala, Ambassador Sani Bala, National Headquarters Directors, I easily recognized Olufunke Amos, FSI, MNI. I also recognize Dr. Ann Okora for FSI, MNI, Mr. Philip Gangas, FSI, His Royal Highness Alhaji Dr. Muhammadu Abali Ibn Muhammadu Idrisa, CON, is the Emir of Fika and Chairman of the Yobe State Traditional Rulers Council. Your Royal Highness, I remember that I had a singular opportunity of going to Fika when the guest lecturer was my DG, and he directed that those of us serving as directors in the Northeast region should represent the service, simply because you were one of us. I congratulate you, even though belated, I remember that just a month after your tabanan as the district head of Fika, you ascended to the throne of your grandfathers. Now, against the invidiousness of taking on every person present here to appreciate, I want to make short the list, because everybody here is very important. Everybody here has contributed in no small measure in making this event a tremendous success. I'd like to start with
the Ivory Tour, the University of Abuja. There's a professor here that has come, and you may need to know about him. It's Professor Sani Mohammed Adam, Deputy Vice Chancellor, Administration, the first president of the Alumni Association of this institute, CP Olayenka Balogun, PhD. He's always faithful with this place. There is the acting president of the alumni is also here with us, Barrister Mike Ejiofor, and various security agencies that are represented here. The names are too long. Pardon me if I don't call them. State directors of the system. I can see representatives of the Institute for Chartered Chemists of Nigeria and similar institutes here present. Gentlemen of the press, other guests. We have come to the end of the program. We want to thank you so much for your presence and for whatever contributions you've made to the holding of this very important event. When my mentor was taking us through the lecture prepared, I couldn't help remembering or recalling when I was in active service. I was the director in Gombe, and he held the first ever World Press Conference on the state of the nation. At that time, as the DGSS. Just briefly, he mentioned that in this country there were people trained in the art of making explosives using fertilizer and petrol, and sensitized the nation through the world press that we would need to put our acts together and we would need to wake up from our slumber. I sold that idea quickly to the State Executive Council in my state, in Gombe, and a late, highly respected person said, Wali, you never told us lies, but this one is a blunt lie. How could people in Nigeria want to commit suicide? For what? It's not true. Before I could even study the landscape around me, already a religious dimension had been introduced to it. And that was how it died. Unfortunately, the same story is the case with all other states all over the country. Sir, we thank you so much. We were slumbering, but this has reawakened us. And a word, they say, is enough for the wise. Sir, we record the pressure this service faced when Muhammad Yusuf was brought for questioning. We remember the kind of misleading information, misleading, distorted news items that were carried in the media on why investigations had to be conducted on some of the activities of religious organizations at that time. We can also recall the role played by the international media organizations who fanned the embers of hatred and who brought about or precipitated suspicion and distrust between and betwixt the major Muslim worshippers in this country. If appropriate action had been taken at that point in time, we wouldn't have suffered from what is called Boko Haram. If the emergence of the ISA in Lake Chad had been stopped from generating to a bigger agency around that area, the Boko Haram or the insurgency in that place would have died together with Boko Haram. But we are going into another phase, that the lecturer said, and we hope it will not develop into another problem. We have been told about what is happening in Zamfara, and also what is happening in the southwest. And the phenomenon and the issue of Shia must also be treated with the caution and care it deserves. We thank you, sir. We wish you well. We are very happy seeing you very, very strong, very articulate, very alert mentally. And those of us that read your page, particularly in the Daily Trust, we are always encouraged when we see your articles and see our mentor now becoming a columnist. Thank you so much, sir. The chairman, sir, we thank you so much. We appreciate you. Anytime we have a big event like this, we rush to Savannah, and he always accepts and honors our invitation. We are happy that you came. When I see you and I also see the royal father around you, I feel as if the royalty in the whole country is domiciled here. We thank you so much, sir. His Royal Highness, sir, we thank you so much for coming. The uncle said you are the Royal Highness, the Emir of Pika. I have no doubt about that because I know I had an encounter with you in 1991 before you left. But what people don't know is that you are also very significant in Kefi. The Kefi Emirate Council places you on a very, very high esteem. We thank you so much, sir. We thank everybody here and wish you well. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. The chairman, sir, distinguished guest lecturer.